Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey today. These are the readings for the human design profile, and also there will be readings for the human design types. So stick around, for that. We're going to be using the Spellcaster's tarot, which I love because this is probably one of the first 5 tarot decks I ever got. And I haven't used this deck probably actually in years. So before every reading, I do ask the deck if it wants to do all 16 now of the readings, and I'll just shuffle until it kicks out basically like a yes or no card. And the one deck I wanted to use, because I also haven't used it in a few years, gave me the 3 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles. And I was like, okay, you are not in the mood for work. So, so then like this one was actually sitting right next to it. And I was like, ooh, what about EU? And it was like an immediate yes. So I love that. Also, the other deck that I wanted to use, part of the reason why I went to that one was because this wasn't recent. It was like in the last couple months. I actually went back and watched the first videos that I put out. And I think that was in December of 2021. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to see. I wanted to see how it was or whatever. I don't know. But I'm not going to lie. I also was really expecting to be kind of embarrassed or like cringe, and I really only listened to my sun and rising ones, but I was not embarrassed or like cringy or anything, honestly, at all. Like, I was actually really fucking proud of myself, which is so funny because I was not expecting that reaction, which, that kind of sucks. Like that, I really do need to like give myself a break. But I left a comment though on every video. And of course I just, copied and pasted, but I just left a comment that said, hey Liz, this is Liz from 2025. And I just want to tell you like how fucking proud I am of you because you started this, like I was so nervous and I thought for sure you were going to be able to hear it in my voice. I thought for sure I was going to be stumbling over my words. I thought for sure that, that I was just going to like be continuously losing my words because I do that a lot, and just fumbling all over the place, but I wasn't at all, or not maybe to the extent that I thought. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so I left, a comment and I was just like, man, like I am so fucking proud of you. And you're the one that felt the fear and did it anyway. And granted, I don't know exactly what I said in that comment. I could look it up, but something along these lines, just telling myself I'm proud of myself, because that past version of me is why I'm even still here. And also why I'm going to be teaching an intro to tarot class at this wonderful, experience boutique next month, which I never thought I would do. So it's just, it was really cool. And I'm so glad that I did that too. Also, the other thing that was kind of funny is that in the intro of those videos, I was like, the acronym for Heretic Owl is HO. So I was like, if you're a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Or if you want to be a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Which I just think is absolutely hilarious. Like, hoe is one of my favorite endearing words. Like, I do not use it like at derogatory. I know people do. I don't, but yeah, so if you want to be a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Be a hoe with the rest of us. But also, like, you know, Heretic Owl Tarot is hot. So, you know, being a hoe makes you hot, you know, or whatever. I can't say, like, you know, do hot girl shit because I don't know if Megan Thee Stallion trademarked that. But anyway, just funny. Just funny. And also too, like I said, like I just remember being so fucking nervous. I literally, I had a phone that barely had any memory on it. I had a computer that barely had any, I could literally only do one video at a time because I didn't have memory or storage on like any device, you know, to actually do multiple videos at a time. And I was using like a folding table, and I had my, I should have grabbed it actually. I had my little owl stone or whatever, which I do still have. But anyway, yeah, very cool. So that's all I'll say. This is the second time I'm actually recording this intro because the first time I was like blabbering on for literally like 15 minutes. So that's it. Oh, that's not it. We're going to do these readings a little bit different this time. And this is also like the way that I've been reading for myself lately. I've been pulling like 2 sets of cards. The first set is the lie, which is the obstacle, or of course, I mean, literally the lie, right? That we're either telling ourselves that usually is like what we're telling ourselves. You know, it could be the limiting belief, old stuff, you know, whatever is also like holding you back or keeping you small. And then the other side is going to be the truth. And of course, right, I mean, I feel like that is pretty self-explanatory. It's a little bit similar-ish to the 333 readings that I do, which is like the door and the key. Similar-ish. But I've already done the 1-3 reading actually, and oh my gosh, that was beautiful. So no doubt all of these readings will turn out that way. And also I believe that the truth is so imperative right now, and especially because we are being bombarded with the depth and the expanse of lies that literally like our whole lives, you know, like the economy, the government, the, you know, the, you know, billionaire class, or, you know, like whatever you want to, whatever, you know, we are literally being bombarded with like how much of that shit is lies, how much we've been fed, you know, like lie wise. And, I think it is imperative, like I said, right now to really hone in on your truth, accept what is true for you as well. And also, again, like even recognize the lies that we're telling ourselves, the limiting beliefs that we're telling ourselves, the identities that we've been, you know, carrying around or operating from, the conditioning, really, because, you know, I mean, with human design, like a big part of it is the deconditioning process. And I really do think that by more people honoring their own truth, it really is, you know, going to shift the world. So that's kind of also like where that's coming from. So I will officially leave it there and we'll get into the readings. Great. So this is a reading for the 2-5 human design profile, the Hermit Heretic. If you don't know what your human design profile is, there is a link in the description for you to get your human design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there as well as your type. So be sure to look out for those once I get them posted. And also something I meant to start inviting people to do and have completely forgot the last 3 readings. If you feel like it, like if it, I would love to hear your experience. I would love to hear your understanding of your profile, your type as well. But I'm like, first of all, I'm a 5-1. So I have that first line, and I love information, but I learn best by reading like personal stories. Like anytime I Google anything, I always put Reddit behind it because I don't want to read some blog that potentially is sponsored, or again, like some website that is probably sponsored or whatever. Like I would rather read about people's personal, and it also like adds nuance, right? Like you're the one that is living your life and experiencing all the things. So anyway, if you feel comfortable, no matter how much you know or don't or whatever, I would love if you commented and shared your understanding, your experience, what you've learned. Interesting. This side is a lie. We have the Three of Cups. We have the Ten of Swords. And what is the truth for our 2 5s? That seems like pretty. We have the Five of Wands reverse. One more. The Ten of Pentacles. Beautiful. I haven't really been like reading the bottom of the deck, but we'll just, I'm going to keep it over here for now. I say interesting because the 2 4s got the Ten of Swords in this position, but in the reverse. So, I don't know. The odds of it coming out again, I don't know. I love shit like that anyway. This to me feels like pretty like straightforward. The Three of Cups has to do with other people, communities, friendships, also even like celebration, support from others as well. Like cups have to do with our emotions. So it even like emotionally how we feel in groups or with our friends, or do we feel supported by the people around us? It's kind of interesting that they're just like free falling into this lake here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the guy has his eyes closed. She has her eyes open. I mean, who knows, what this person is doing, but it's almost like this, the guy is trust falling almost. There's a level of like surrender there. I keep thinking baptism as well. It could be, like even, because what is baptism? It's like, it's initiation into religion. And of course, I mean, this doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be religion, but just the imagery. I mean, like, maybe there was a group that, because this is a side that's a lie, right? So with the Ten of Swords, this situation is not going well, or it didn't pan out well. And maybe these 9 swords that are sticking out of its back, because there's one in his hand, and that it's a king. You have the 5th line on the design side. It could be projections. It could have been people seeing you as a savior. That could have even been what was happening in this 3 of Cups. Like people really thought that you were going to save the day in whatever capacity that is, right? And maybe it didn't work out that way. The 5th line comes with being burned at the stake. And you have like a double projection with the 2 and the 5. The 2nd line, I mean, they say that like the 5th line is an automatic positive projection as well, but that has not been my experience. I'm a 5-1, so it is different because I have the 5th line on the personality side. Like it's, out there. But rarely is the projection positive to begin with. It usually starts off like, I'm not sure about her. And then eventually it's like, oh, okay, yeah, she's cool. And then eventually it's like, she's actually the devil, which is at the bottom of the deck. And then I'm usually like, huh? But, so yeah, you have that fifth line on the design side, which is hidden. It's the subconscious. Some people call it the body. More, internal. It's the side of the chart in red, but it's the side of the chart that is not consciously aware to us, but something, of course, that we can find, we can see, we can experience, right, clearly. And then the second line, the hermit line, is like the natural genius, or like the easy breezy, things come naturally. Things are easily acquired, or like, learned, or whatever, right? So people do generally see that as being positive, like, oh wow, like you're really good at that, or you have a real talent for that, and you're probably like, what? Like, this is just like a hobby that I like to do, or I don't think that I'm like good at it per se. Like, anybody could do it, and everybody around you is like, no, they couldn't. So, right, like you have, wow, you're so talented. Ooh, I could use that to my advantage, right? Like, this person can help me, or help my organization, or help this whatever, and save the day. Like, that could be what happened here. And like with the second and the fifth line, there is this dance between, it's almost like, is it the hokey pokey? You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in, and shake. But it's like learning, first of all, like with your strategy and authority, that is designed to help you enter into the quote unquote correct experiences for you. Right? And your profile is how you interact with those experiences, how you interact with the people or the collective, whatever, whoever else is involved with that, because we're all connected. We're all just a bunch of, conscious mushrooms, right? So there's this dance that happens between, your strategy and authority giving you the green light. However that is for you, obviously, it would depend on your type. But then, like once your energy, your purpose, your expertise, like your job even, quote unquote, ends or is fulfilled, then it's like being able to recognize when your strategy and authority is like, all right, it's time to get out of here. Like, we did our part. We did what we needed to do. It's time, to bounce. Or, with a hermit, alone time, recharge, making sure that your space is set up, is decorated, is just so that you get energy from it, that it recharges your battery. Because it's not just about being alone. It's not just about, just kind of like retreating. And I don't have any, I have like one or two second lines in my, actually I have the thing here. Let me see. I have one second line, two. Well, no, one, because it's, it's in gate 9. But it's my Jupiter and my Uranus, because I have those conjunct in my natal chart anyway. But they're both 9, gate 9, line 2. So that's my extent of of second line experience. But I'm a Taurus, so I understand, like, kind of having a space that feels cozy, that feels good. So anyway, like again with the second line, and it could be your bedroom, it could be, whatever is your sacred space, your office, all areas as much as you can, your cubicle, like all areas, because, the point of hermiting, quote unquote, is to recharge your batteries and also to allow yourself to just explore the things that you're interested in, to develop your skill, your talent, your interest in those things. And again, like I said, I don't know if I literally just said it 5 seconds ago, but to recharge your batteries so that when you do experience other people and you have to be out there doing your heretic thing, that you have the energy to do that, and that you're also even better able to hear those things and feel it in your body and be able to say yes to the things that you can have an impact on with the fifth line, because with the second line you have an interest in it, you have information, you have whatever expertise, and with the fifth line being able to step in and affect change. And then again, like being able to step out when, because it doesn't mean that you like start, you have to be in there from start to finish. That could even be the lie. Like that could be, thinking that you have to be burned out or you can't leave until you are burned at the stake type of thing. This could even be a hesitation to want to get involved with people, organizations, groups. And I mean, both of those lines, like the fifth line is transpersonal. I believe that's the right word. So like it requires other people. So does the second line. Like the second line, like people, again, they can see things that are more difficult for a second line to see in themselves, and it helps like bring that out. I've talked a lot more human language, human design language in your reading than most of the other ones too. But I think it makes sense because again, right? Like we have this 3 of Cups here. There's some sort of like, I don't know, indoctrination was coming up, initiation, like some sort of maybe like trust put into, it could be your friends, it could be your peers, your groups, whatever. And it just did not, maybe too, like you thought that this particular thing was going to make you feel a certain way, was going to benefit you in a certain way, or just even being like included in this in some capacity. And ultimately it's like it burned you out. Or again, this could be projections. Swords have to do with our thoughts and our mind, beliefs, truth, honesty. I see swords as being the suit of ego because that's generally where we tend to hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, and it becomes our belief systems, right? Like something happened. Our brain says, this is the truth of that. Based on the information that I have, based on how I feel about myself. And then that becomes a belief. Then that becomes an identity. Then that becomes the reasons why we do things and don't do things. Limiting beliefs. It's shame. It's, guilt. Also, though, 10s are a completion. So there is some level of completion here. And what is interesting over here, okay, so the lie is the 3 of Cups. And the 10 of Swords. It's got to be, it's like something that the way that you are perceiving groups. The experiences that you've had with groups, the experiences that you have had with people. I think too, just like better understanding, maybe even like your type, better understanding your strategy and authority, better understanding your profile. Because I know, like for me, my profile was like, it busted my head wide open when I first read about my profile. And it's helped me to change my perception of the interactions that I've had or the experiences that I've had as well. And it did help me to let go of perceptions, of beliefs surrounding myself, and of course like other people too, because it's one of those things, like once you can understand something about yourself, you can see it and you can understand it in other people, because we're really not that complicated. We're really not, you know. But again, like once you can see it in yourself, you can see it, you can understand it in other people. And it also like has, you don't have to let it impact you to the extent as it has in the past. Because the reason why I'm like saying all that is, look how interesting this is. We have the Five of Wands in the reverse. We have the Ten of Pentacles. So we go from the Ten of Swords to the Ten of Pentacles. We go from the Three of Cups to the Five of Wands. Granted, it's in the reverse. This is more like, what reversals to me are more internal versus an external expression. This is almost like, I want to use the religion analogy again. And if you are religious, like, I don't know, I feel like disclaimering this, because I am not religious at all. I don't believe in God. And I'm not using the religion thing as like a negative, whatever. Okay. Like I'm like, I want to disclaimer it, because I just think that might just be like the best example where like, and I'm thinking indoctrination or like initiation, right? And all these people are dressed the same way. And there's a process here, right? Like there's, even with baptism, right? Like everybody gets baptized pretty much the same way, right? They're wearing the same clothing, the same prayers, or the same, like I haven't actually been to a baptism as an adult. And obviously when I was baptized Catholic, I was a baby and I didn't have a choice. But have I? Anyway, right? Like there's a process that everybody goes through. It's the same thing. Everybody has the same belief system as well, right? And if they don't, they're adapting or adopting that modality or that ideology or that theology, I guess I should say, since we're kind of using a religious thing. And also I'm going that route because that's how this looks to me. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it really does feel like a baptism. And that could, it's like keeping yourself in spaces or around people that maybe don't share your beliefs, or maybe they like, you have to conform in whatever aspect in order to remain in those spaces. It could be, since the Ten of Swords is out here, that your beliefs have changed and maybe you don't know what to do with that. It doesn't have to be religion related. I'm cutting off the it doesn't have to be that. It could be, like what kind of life you want to live, like, the type of relationship you want to have, the type of job you want to have, what you believe to be possible about success and experiences and feeling and all of the things, right? Like and human design, like a big part of it is deconditioning. What is the lie? Like, what's the lie that you've been sold in general? You know, like culturally, society, your parents, your family. Again, you know, the people that you associate with or the friends that you have, has something changed. And it just no longer fits. And the reason why I went on that whole tangent is because with the 5 of Wands over here, these people are all like working. To me, it feels like working together. This is a card of conflict, usually, and also conditioning, though. I always think of Mulan with the 5 of Wands because, you know, when they show up to warrior training and like everybody is arrogant and like cocky and nobody is working together, you know, there's little cliques here and there, and, you know, everybody is better than everybody else, and right. And then it's like by being in proximity to each other, they learn to work with each other. And it's actually Mulan that like changes the whole vibe, right? Because Mulan climbs the pole, gets the arrow, and then all of a sudden people are like, yeah, you know, and then they start really coming together, and training starts getting easier, and, you know, they're more in sync and they're more willing to work together, which would be more so like the 6 of Wands. But also interesting in the 5 of Wands here, they're all blindfolded. There's this, it looks like a wasp's nest. It could be a bee's nest, whatever, you know, up here that they could potentially hit. And then there's like this one person over here that's just watching. You know, I mean, they could be the person that is training them, these 4 people that are blindfolded. I mean, they could be the one, of course, that chose this spot because the wasp's nest is up there. But what I was going to say, though, is that the vibes are completely different in these cards. I mean, obviously, they're 2 totally different suits. This is emotions, you know, intuition, compassion, grace, love. Wands are fire. Also, we have 1 of every suit out here too, which is rare. Very balanced though when that happens. But yeah, you know, and then, but everybody in this 5 of Wands, like there's more individual, and they are more than likely like fighting for the same cause or the same purpose. Because again, you know, like the 6 of Wands is victory after conflict. The whole point of warrior training in Mulan is so that they can go into battle and they can be successful. Right? It's not just throwing them into the wolves, right? It's having them be prepared so that they can be victorious, so that they can be successful, so they know how to work together, even to like be able to work around potential threats or obstacles, like with this beehive here. But this feels more individual. This feels more like, again, you know, people fighting for a cause, or even action, because wands have to do with action, the motivation behind the actions that we take, creativity, passion. I also see wands as information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works. We figure out what doesn't. What do we like? What don't we like? What stays? What goes? And it's one thing to consider those things emotionally and mentally, but it's another thing to try them and to see how it feels, to see what we think of it. But reversed, the book says an end to petty arguments, abandoning a struggle, the current tires of striving to overcome competitors and fears defeat, a distancing among a group of friends, a rival comes out the victor, a competition comes to a close, insecurity regarding one's ability to gain authority or acclaim, an obsessive desire to outdo one's peers. And what is also interesting too is that like they're not even actually engaging in fights, like a fight here, right? Like they're all pretty much like in the same position where they're drawing back, right? And we're just making assumptions that like these two people are gonna connect wands, or these two people are gonna connect wands. We really don't know. But again, it is in the reverse. And with the Ten of Pentacles here, this is about legacy, family, generational wealth, even generational healing, community too. I mean, this could be a family. Of course, there's kids back there. There's a man standing here with like a rake in his hand. There's a woman here with this basket that has like carrots and apples or whatever in it. And she's waving. There's an old woman over here. There's all these bags of money too, all around here. So again, like even just, I was saying with this Five of Wands about how like it feels more activism. It feels more putting action into a cause or into a belief. It's also being surrounded by people who, again, like have the same morals, whatever that is though, right? Like I'm not saying that like, you know, I mean, I use the word activism, however that, you know, would, but it's like being around people or being in environments where you believe in the cause, you believe in the mission. You can have conversations with people around the subject, and it's like, you know, just firing back and forth with each other, right? And you're just like, man, like it's so cool to talk to somebody who has like the same principles or like the same ideas, or, you know, and that creates this opportunity to expand. You know what Pentacles have to do with our money? How we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time. Where are we investing our time? How are we investing our time? It's where we are even physically showing up in our lives. Where are you spending most of your time? Like, where is your body in the world? You know, is that something that you believe in, that you want to fight for, that you feel is making a difference? It's your physical health as well, your body, literally anything tangible, anything you can touch. It's your house, your car, job, of course. Over here, it could be something like the lie part. It could be something that maybe you think only exists in your mind, or it's something that, man, I wish I could find a group or environment or a job or whatever that feels the same way that I do, or that makes me feel a certain way, or you know, whatever. And this over here is like that does exist, and if it doesn't, create it. You know, when we're talking generations over here, when we start honoring our own truth, I fully believe this. Like when we start, first of all, accepting our truth, discovering our lies about, our limiting beliefs and our programming and whatever. I do believe that is what is ancestral healing. You don't only heal your lineage behind you, but you heal what is in front of you as well. So by you finding this environment, by you honoring that truth about yourself, whatever this 5 of Wands is, being in spaces, and I love that it's a 5. Anyway, but being in spaces where you can affect change, where you can, where you believe in it, right? No doubt, like your parents, even if it's not something that they specifically say out loud, because a lot won't. Like them seeing you do something that maybe they didn't have the opportunity to do. There is a level of healing for them in that. Again, even if they recognize it or not, even if it comes out as a projection. Because really, like all projections are, like it's an accusation, what is it? Accusations or confessions, like whatever they're saying or whatever is projected, it is literally what that person feels about themselves, right? Like it has nothing to do with you. But regardless, whether it's, received well or not, like just the fact that I can live by myself and have a bank account in my own name and have a business in my own name. But like my mom couldn't do that maybe when she was my age, because I'm like 40s now. But I also got divorced when I was 20. I don't know if we were able to do that like back in the day. And also divorce was like so taboo. You couldn't do it. So yeah, I was able to leave a marriage that I wasn't happy in twice, actually. Whereas my mom and her generation, that was a no-no. My grandma or, like grandparents' generation, dude, wasn't even not an option at all, right? So anyway, my point just is like, whatever, by you honoring your truth, you heal backwards and forwards. And that's just the result of it. Like, it's not necessarily like, on purpose or a conscious thing, but the more that we hone in on our truth, the more that we start taking actions based on our truth, the more healing is available to people, because people see that, people recognize that, and it does give other people permission to honor their own truth. And maybe that's also even what's happening here with all these people fighting for what they believe to be true for themselves, right? And again, even like what is possible over here, generational wealth, generational healing, community, it's like communal support. It's not greedy. This is also, again, with a 10, completion. This is the goal. Beautiful. Dang. We have the Devil, Judgment, Magician, Justice. At the bottom of the deck. Holy crap. The devil is, it's the story. It's the propaganda, it's the control, like this is, to me, this would be what's holding you back. That would be, the fear of what other people would say, or what you would lose in the process, or thinking that you are going like against your family or your beliefs or, you know, like whatever. It's like, and that is the reason why you haven't changed or you haven't made moves yet. That's also the lie, right? The Judgment card, I love this because, you know, they're literally sitting in this cauldron of this fire and like being rebirthed. Look at the difference between these two cards as well. Like, this is what has been holding you back. This is what is going to set you free. This is liberation. This is releasing what is no longer serving you, the things that are controlling you. Maybe even ego death, right? This is literally, you know, like being birthed in the fire, right? Like, I mean, it's not necessarily going to be a comfortable experience, but I mean, I feel like there's already a lot of discomfort here anyway. And then with the Magician card here, it's deciding what you want to do. Even like there's a snake here that's shedding its skin. Today is the Chinese New Year, so we're officially out of, there's all these snakes here too. We're officially out of the year of the snake. And I love that in this card, the snake is like already shed its skin. This is having everything that you need to do the thing you want to do, to manifest the thing you want to do, to take action. You have the skills, you have the time, you have the resources, you have the emotional capacity, like you have all the things that you need. And it's now, it becomes, you know, as above, so below. Like now it becomes your internal beliefs, like your internal intuition, even like your internal truth, and you start taking action towards that, you know, like you start taking action that is in alignment with your truth and recognizing that you have everything that you need in order to do that. And the Justice card here, it's a number 11. We have 1, we have 11. The scales balancing. Fairness, karma, fate, even getting back what you put out. This really feels like an accomplishment. Like it feels like an accomplishment to have these scales balanced. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this hand is the bone, and they're holding a pomegranate, which is about fertility. Like they're literally like there are going to be sacrifices that are going to have to be made, but it is fucking worth it. And I think you know that. I think it's just like the fear here naturally, you know, like the lie is that the fear is true, because it's not, you know. When over here we have this satisfaction, contentment, success, peace. I was like trying to think of like, did I say all 4 of the types, you know, like the true self, satisfaction, peace, success, satisfaction. Oh wait, I said satisfaction twice. Surprise. And also even look at the similarities here between the Magician and the Justice card, how they're, one hand is in the air, one hand is pointed towards the ground. And there's these pillars here. They're standing between these 2 pillars. Like this is taking action, and this is being on, like this is like the vision becoming a reality. This is where you decide to start going, right? Like this is where it's a number 1, so it's a new beginning. This is where you end up. Man, I hope I did that justice. I'm going to leave it there. I did that justice. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.